Your martial arts movie podcast.
I threw that shit before I walked in the room.
Featuring drunken Thai boxer Will.
Too bad you will die.
The also drunken wrestler Mark.
I said I don't want trouble.
And drunken karate master Zero.
You've lost your balls.
And now,
Talk. I know Kung Fu.
You know, baby.
Fists of Fail.
Our listeners may or may not be aware, but Zero and I have been trying to record this one episode for a very long time. And every time we try to, something just sets us back. So we are like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks behind. So we're finally doing this. We are finally talking about Master of the Flying Guillotine.
Hooray!
Yes, another one of Rizza's recommends. It's probably the oldest film that we've covered of his.
I was going to say, 76. Have we covered anything before this?
Well, yeah, Bruce Lee. Anything with Bruce Lee?
Right. Bruce Lee. I forgot. Yeah, 76 is pretty early. We don't usually go that far back because of our tastes in martial arts choreography. But, I mean, I've been wanting to watch this. It is considered a classic, Taiwanese classic.
Yep.
And mainly because of the weapon, the titular weapon, the Flying Guillotine.
Yeah,
We have actually discussed it before in the Vengeful Beauty episode.
Yep.
There were flying guillotines, and that was great. Very, very tiny little moment of flying guillotines.
Mm-hmm.
And in this movie, it's just the one master of the flying guillotine.
Yes.
Who's also blind.
Yes. Well, I guess we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but yes, Master of the Flying Guillotine, aka the one-arm boxer versus the Flying Guillotine, or One-Arm Boxer 2. Most people may not know. I mean, if you haven't watched the movie, you definitely wouldn't know. But like most people would know that this is a sequel to the One-Arm Boxer, another older film starring Jimmy Wang. Jimmy Wang playing like in this movie. He is reprising his role from that movie, and we have not covered One-Arm Boxer. Maybe we will one day, but I mean, I've never watched One-Arm Boxer, so I don't even know. Like I don't feel like either one of us really lost anything watching this film. Like they kind of recap you all the events of the first movie.
Right. Yeah, we get flashbacks, which I'm assuming is reused footage from the original movie.
Yeah, because this movie really knows how to pad out time.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe this movie. And I'll do the plot really quickly.
Sure.
Blind man with flying guillotine tries to kill one-arm boxer for killing his 2 disciples. That's it. That's the whole story. And in the middle...
Don't forget, there is a random martial arts tournament in the middle of the movie that goes on much longer than it really should, featuring characters who are one-off. They fight, and then that's the end of them. And the whole time I kept thinking, is this going to come back around somehow? Like, is the Master of the Flying Guillotine going to be a part of the tournament? No. So the whole middle portion of the movie feels very random. It feels like it's just kind of tacked on there to add padding, like you mentioned.
Yeah, you know, do you know, like everyone loves Terminator 2, right? I actually like when I was watching this movie, like
I was thinking of Terminator a lot.
Oh yeah,
when I was watching this, yeah.
Okay. Like maybe I was thinking more Terminator 2, maybe than Terminator 1.
Yeah. I mean, he's an unstoppable force.
Yeah. And you know, there's that section. If you've watched Terminator 2, there's a section of the movie where they go to Mexico.
Yeah.
And they basically the movie just kind of grinds to a halt. There's like no action, no nothing. And it's just the movie just slows down, and it's kind of like a lull in the movie. it goes on for way too long, in my opinion. Every time I watch a movie, I just skip it. I just go straight back to when
the T-1000 reappears.
Yeah, when Sarah Connor goes back, and then they're fighting the T-1000 again. That's basically like how I remedy that film. Watching this movie, there is a tournament that happens in like the middle of the film, well, maybe a little bit before the middle of the film, and it just eats up so much time. And I feel like it shouldn't be like a lull, but it certainly does feel like it because it doesn't add anything to the movie.
Well, that's the problem. I've said this many times. Look, if you're not going to develop your characters or make us like them in any sort of way, and then they fight on screen, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, it won't be as impactful for me as if compared to if you do flesh these people out. Because if you're watching two people fight and it's this amazing choreography, that's great. But if I don't care about these people, again, it might as well just be a demo reel. Why don't you just show me a demo reel?
Yeah. Demo reels from 1976.
Yep.
Well, yeah. On that top,
I was going to say, we should elaborate on what a flying guillotine is. Because some people may not know. Yeah,
they may not have watched our Vengeful Beauty episode. Yeah, the Flying Guillotine, I think I mentioned this in the episode too, is a legendary weapon. I put, well, you guys who are listening probably don't see my quotation marks. It's a quote-unquote legendary weapon that may or may not have actually existed because there have been writing that have been captured historically to allude to some sort of weapon where you can literally capture someone's head in like a basket on a chain, and then you just rip that chain. You just pull the chain and it just rips the head off. And that's literally, I mean, like, as I'm describing this audibly, you're probably imagining something ridiculous. And that's exactly what the Flying Guillotine looks like.
Yes.
It's a basket on a chain.
Right. I'm calling bullshit on this weapon because there's
there's
no fucking way.
I'm wondering what the real weapon would have been, but I mean, who knows?
But now that I think about it, you know what it is? It's probably just like a cowboy lasso. Somebody threw it, pulled hard enough, even though you probably can't do it this way, and ripped off somebody's head. The physics don't really work if you think about it. Something probably happened. He was already in the motion of getting decapitated by another sword. Lasso got pulled. Someone's like, "Oh my god, look at that amazing weapon! It pulled off the head." No, it didn't.
I already made plenty of jokes about like what I think the Flying Guillotine could have been. I think of like Wild Wild West again. I made that alluded to that last time too, where like the disc have just attracted to your neck with a magnet or something like that. Whatever. Obviously, the weapon is kind of ridiculous when you think about it. I mean, who knows? I mean, it could have existed, but a lot of movies of this era, they kind of had it in this kind of format where it's like it literally is just a basket on a chain. And if you think about the logistics of using that in terms of actual fighting, I mean, obviously this is a movie, it's a wuxia film, but if you think about the logistics, there's really like no real like feasible way that it can just grab onto someone's head that quickly. You're gonna see it coming from a mile away. You have to lob that thing. Right. You can't just throw it at someone's head. There
are cowboys who are very capable with the lasso, and you see them winding up, right? So
yeah.
When you see the master swinging the chain, I want to say it's probably the same thing.
Maybe, but I don't know if we went into great detail enough about like how ridiculous the item is. This weapon is. All I can say is that I wasn't I guess I should have expected that the master in question of the Master of the Flying Guillotine wasn't going to be the hero. It was actually going to be the villain of the movie.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. I kind of thought he would be the hero, considering he's the name of the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm completely unfamiliar with Jimmy Wang Yu's filmography, so didn't know he directed, starred, wrote in this.
Yeah. Jimmy Wang Yu. Let's talk about him real quickly. We have not talked about him on an episode. We've alluded to him in the past. I talked about him very briefly a couple years ago in the One-Armed Swordsman meets Zatoichi.
Zatoichi, yep.
Yeah. Zatoichi meets One-Armed Swordsman. Whatever the official title is. That movie had the One-Armed Swordsman, who also stars Jimmy Wang Yu. And I guess Jimmy Wang Yu just made a career out of just playing himself with one arm. That's just this whole shtick. Again, I don't know all too much about him myself either. All I know is that unfortunately he did pass away earlier this year. And
Yeah.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. He was in Red Dragon, I think. Well, that was a movie with Donnie Yen and I forgot that Japanese actor's name. And he was like the villain of the film. He played like Donnie Yen's father, and he was like weirdly menacing and stuff. So, I mean, I guess like late into the mid 2010s, he was still acting. So, I guess this is one of his, I wouldn't say early films, but like this is one of his more iconic films. Oh, Master of the Flying Guillotine, I guess.
Oh man, he's in a movie called The Guillotines from 2012.
Oh, interesting.
I wonder if there are flying guillotines in
that movie. Do you think they updated the technology to make it look more menacing?
That'd be cool if that's the case. I might have to check this out. Oh, they did. Yeah,
they did.
It looks like they did. Yeah, it's not a fucking basket anymore. It's just like a circle and it's spinning. Okay. The trailer's playing while I'm looking at this. It looks. Okay, all right. I'm gonna check this out. It looks dumb.
Sure, maybe we'll cover it one day. But yeah, let's go back to 1976 so we can talk about Master of Flying Guillotine. I don't know if I'm being like extra critical. Last time we talked about 8 Diagram Pole Fighter, I wasn't the biggest fan of the movie. I thought it was okay, especially since we started off the month pretty strongly. But yeah, after this movie, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of this film. I actually thought it was actually very slow and we're not talking about the action at all. I thought like in terms of like movie making, as an overall movie experience, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I thought it dragged at certain points, and like there's so much padding in the movie all in all. I don't know, Zero. Like, am I out of line for saying that?
No, I don't think so. I actually agree with you. I when I first watched it, I enjoyed it because I was just trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah,
we go from learning about the master, his disciples have been killed, so he wants revenge against Jimmy Wang Yu, who is a martial arts instructor, and he can also walk upside down on walls because he was bitten by a radioactive one-armed spider, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
So, and then they insert a martial arts tournament, actually still very early on in the movie. So I'm trying to figure out what was going on. We get a fighting tournament in real time. Yeah. One fight after another fight, after another fight, after another fight. Oh, hey, look, the master of ceremonies, the father who put together this tournament, he sees Jimmy Wang Yu. So we actually get a little bit of dialogue while people are fighting. Oh, but then we come back to the fighting. Mm-hmm. And the whole time I was thinking, oh, is this a tournament movie now? Nope, no. It's not. We forgot this is the Master of the Flying Guillotine. Let's have him, come back in and then resume that story. So like 20 or 30 minutes of this movie is kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're talking about this tournament right here, and we might be able to beat this horse into the ground. But man, like that tournament goes on forever. It's 9 fights. It's 9 fights condensed in like a 20 to 30 minute time span, and eats up it feels like it eats up a big chunk of the movie because like
it does. Because I said, it's just all happening one after another. It's not like a traditional tournament movie. One fight, you take a break,
Yes.
You have people talk about something, you move the plot along, another fight. You know, you pace it out. You pace your fights out. You don't just. This is mid-loaded. This movie is mid-loaded.
Yeah, for sure.
With fighting.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, is it even mid-loaded? Because like it's like it basically feels like it eats up the first half of the film. It's a huge fucking chunk of the movie. And like it just feels like it goes on, and especially doesn't help that a lot of these characters you don't give them a proper introduction. They don't have any sort of influence on the story whatsoever. I mean, I wouldn't even call it a demo reel. Demo reel is just like to kind of showcase, like, oh, look what these actors can do, which is fine. But it's too short. Like it's because it's 20 minutes, split up by 9. If you do the math, it's just a little bit over 2 minutes per fight. Yeah. Just so incredibly short.
They should have. So there are, I think, 3 fighters who actually come out of the tournament who. Yes. Actually become real players in the overall story. I think they should have cut out all the other fighters. They should have just had it's the Indian, the Thai fighter,
and
the Japanese fighter. Yeah, and then the daughter of the I forget the guy.
the tournament master. I don't know.
Yeah,
let's just call him that. Yeah,
sure. Yeah, those 4 technically. They should have just had those fights, and then everything else just fucked off with them, and then elaborated on those characters more, because we don't know who they are. Sure, the Indian fighter, the Thai fighter, and Japanese fighter, they're kind of bad guys, so a lot of times the bad guys get the short end of the stick when it comes to story. But if you remove 10 minutes of fighting, give us more character work. I'm always for more characters. Make us like them, or make us hate them, right?
Yeah. Well, the whole pretense of having the tournament in the movie, I actually don't even understand. Like, why do we have this tournament? Like, in general, like, what set this tournament up? Like, why do we even have this like going on? Fine, whatever. It just feels very blatant to me that this is just padding. Like, we just need to pad out add some filler into the movie to make it run the normal run length. Because like, if you honestly, I think in a more traditional storytelling method, you should just have the villain. He is on a quest to kill the hero of the story, and he hires some mercenaries. That's essentially what the movie becomes, anyways. Like, I mean, not to jump ahead, anyways. Because like that is a spoiler of sorts. It doesn't ruin the movie. Like, you kind of see it coming a mile away. It's like, okay, well, there needs to be twists and turns. It can't just be like a super simple, like, oh, villain wants to kill hero needs to protect himself. So there's that. Like, yeah, like, they added the tournament thing, but then like it just felt really awkward, and like, that's just one little complaint I have. Like, not me not understanding why we have a tournament, the fact that the tournament takes way too much time, the fact that it's 9 fights in a row. One other complaint I have. And I didn't really get this when I was watching the One-Armed Swordsman's movies. I haven't watched any of the One-Armed Boxer films. But Jimmy Wang Yu's character, like, fights like a coward for a lot of the movie.
In this movie or those
in this movie?
So I want to say that I actually liked his character. Because they set him up as, the teacher, the master. He knows what he's doing. I like that one shot when the camera's panning along and he's like adjusting the students and giving them tips and whatnot. And he's giving them his martial arts, kung fu philosophy. And throughout the movie, you realize that he's good, but he's not the best. And I like that, because that made the master of Flying Guillotine even more menacing, because it's not like, oh, Jimmy Wang Yu is this perfect martial arts fighter, he can just defeat him easily. Actually, throughout the course of the movie, he gets hurt a lot and he has to kind of retreat. And I like that he gives I guess his reasonings for doing this later in the film. He says, like, well, I don't know what to do. I'd rather us think of a plan and retreat now rather than just go in blind and die. Like, I was like, oh, that's pretty smart, you know? Like, he's not being, I didn't think he was being a coward. I think he's just like, well, I actually don't know what to do, so let's recompose ourselves. Let's get our thoughts together and try to figure out a plan.
Sure. No, you're right. I think, the final fight where he actually takes on the villain itself, and we'll obviously elaborate more in detail later, that maybe is a little bit more excusable. But, like, for example, when he fights the quote-unquote Thai boxer, I'm putting that in quotation marks too, like, that is just, it's just, like, sleazy the way that he defeats the villain, this guy. It's like, this is just not cool.
He's no longer the hero in that moment.
Yeah.
And we can elaborate why later. But, that was one scene where I was like, oh, this is going on too long. And I'm very uncomfortable.
Yes. And there's a lot of fights in the movie, and oh man, let's talk about the foreign fighters just really briefly.
Oh boy.
Boy. This is 1976 Hong Kong production.
I think it's Taiwanese.
Is it?
I thought so.
Oh, Wikipedia says Hong Kong, so I'm just gonna say Hong Kong. I don't know. I mean,
sure.
The language that they speak is Mandarin, unless you're listening to the dub, which I did eventually find that version. So surprisingly, I thought it was pretty competent. But anyways, the foreign fighters, they're all bad stereotypes, and then two of them are in brownface. Chinese people in brownface.
Ooh boy. Yeah. I wasn't sure if they were trying to be respectful of the TIE fighter or they were mocking him. Because so I mean, he's in brownface obviously, but nobody at the time knew that was bad. So I'm not going to get mad at them for that. But whenever the TIE fighter was going to begin a fight scene, he was doing the traditional Thai dances that you do when you're in the ring before you have the Muay Thai tournament.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, are they being respectful of that? Are they trying to elaborate on culture that maybe people aren't aware about? Or are they just mocking him for being different?
I'm going to say the latter. For sure. Mm-hmm. For sure. I mean, yeah, like, what we're referring to is before any sort of fight, obviously, like, Chinese have their own methodology, but then in typical Muay Thai fights, you'll see even today, like, people they have like a blessing ritual before the actual fights. There's like a wind instrument that they play. It has like a specific kind of noise. I can really know how to describe it just audibly, but like, as it's like, they would play that, and then like the performers would kind of like do a ritual dance on before the actual fight. Yeah. It's kind of like making sure that everyone's blessed and such. But like, watching this, it just feels like it's definitely mocking that whole ritual itself. Mm-hmm. It also, like, the TIE fighter himself, like, he is just playing like he's pantomiming the moves, right? I mean, it's clearly just a Chinese actor pretending like he's Thai and pretending he knows Muay Thai, but like, because like he does like the stances, he stands like a Muay Thai fighter, kind of. He doesn't really get it at times, again, Muay Thai fighters, like, very upright, very, I wouldn't say rigid, but they're a lot more solid. Versus like a kung fu or more like whatever kung fu practitioner would be in. But as soon as that fighter gets into a fight, he just abandons all the Muay Thai. He just becomes like another Chinese martial artist.
Well, I mean, they try to give the elbows and the knees every now and then to distinguish that he's a Thai boxer. But I mean, the martial arts choreographer is Lau Kar-Long. So I can't imagine that he's familiar with Thai boxing. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe he's just like, fuck it, just throw some knees and elbows in there. No one will know one will know the difference. This is 1976.
This is one of those things that we just haven't talked about enough. But like, 70s and 80s Hong Kong was like, they definitely did not respect Thai boxing at all. In fact, like, they went out of their way Hong Kong like went out of the way to like disparage Muay Thai as much as possible.
Right. Yeah, they would always
do that.
Mock Thai fighters. Yeah.
Yeah. But then like people like Billy Chow would come out. You know, like Billy Chow was like a world kickboxing champion, and he entered into like the Hong Kong sphere, and then even more kickboxers did. So I guess there was a little bit more respect after that. But we're still in like the dark ages. Muay Thai is still considered like a joke. As they clearly did in this movie, but that is not nearly as bad as the Yoga Man.
Oh my god, love this guy, love the effects behind it. This is 1976. I'm not gonna brag on these cheesy special effects because they're adorable. I mean, I think so. Basically, he is from India. He's a yoga master, as he is credited anyway. And he has the ability to stretch his limbs, mainly his arms, longer than they really should be. The obvious visual comparison would be Dalsim from Street Fighter 2. Apparently, the creator of that character said that he was not influenced by this character. He was influenced by a different character.
I was wondering if that was the case. Yeah, I don't think the listeners are fully understanding how ridiculous the the yoga master is. It's not just like he looks like Dalsim, but like imagine Dalsim, but like the stretchy arms also have like a clicking sound. So it's like
the bones are detaching from each other.
Or that's like mechanical. It's not real.
Yeah. The choice in sound effects is really odd. He doesn't look like Dalsim. He looks like 100%. I don't want to say a regular Indian man because it's a Chinese man in brown face, but he doesn't have the skull necklace. He doesn't have the very skinny rib cage and shaved head and whatnot. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you watch the English dub, he has a very bad Indian accent.
Oh, so right. Yeah,
nothing about this screams of good taste. But again, it is of its time, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. And then there's the Japanese guy. Who is a what is he supposedly? He is a master of.
Well, he has that
Kobujutsu. I don't know what that is.
He has the police nightsticks, pretty much.
Yes.
I don't know what the traditional name of that weapon is called. I always forget.
Okay. Well, he apparently practices a form of Okinawan Kabuto. So, like it is those two nightsticks, and he's supposed to be like the honorable. Oh, well, this might sound stereotypical. He's supposed to be like the honorable fighter of sorts until it turns out that he's just kind of a pervert, I guess. I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't understand his motivation either. And that's like a recurring issue I have with this movie is that I don't understand any of the characters because they don't really have much.
Well, they don't flesh them out. Like I complained about before, you have these slew of fighters. We don't know who the hell they are. Cut out some of that fighting. Give us more character work so we can understand these people. But no.
Yep. Did I also mention that Jimmy Wang Yu also wrote the movie? I don't know if that's a testament to him, but I don't know. But anyways, he did have a lot of hands in this movie. So in the end,
he only had one hand in this movie.
Oh man, I fell for that one. So that's the problem I have with the movie. But at the end of the day, is the fighting any good? I mean, it is action or fight choreographed by Lao Ga or Liu Xiaoliang, who for the first time in a very early film, like he's actually credited by his Cantonese name. Normally it's his Mandarin one, so I was actually kind of surprised by that. But I have said this earlier this month that Liu Xiaoliang is like a beacon for like modern martial arts, or like pivoting Hong Kong action towards modern martial arts, like in the late 70s to early 80s. Like before him, like things were just super metronomy and very, I don't know, very like everything's moving to a beat, right? And it looks very much like just only like dancing, no fighting at all. And it's only because of him, like I felt like we started moving in a more modern direction. So props to him. I actually did not know that he was the fight choreographer of this movie. Like that was actually kind of a surprise when I saw it in the opening credits. I was like, oh shit. And then when I watched the movie, it's kind of there, but kind of not. Maybe he hasn't gotten his footing yet.
Yeah, that's what I was feeling. So I was getting a sense that I like the shot composition and the editing of some of the fights, because from what I was reading about Jimmy Wang Yu is he was popular in the 70s, and then his martial arts, I guess, status started to dwindle when other, I guess, better martial arts actors came along and showed that they can do it like in the longer takes, or they can do it real without having to use editing or different shots to work around his lack of maybe ability or skill. And in this movie, I thought it was good because the amount of shot variation and editing made it feel like a modern martial arts movie, except that you can tell that the choreography skill wasn't there.
Yeah,
that's where it is. Like the speed isn't there, and then the finesse or the delivery of these certain poses is kind of lacking. At least when it came to him.
Yeah, for sure. Well, is that a limitation of the fact that he's only using one arm? There's only so much you can do with just one arm.
That's the one thing I wanted to bring up too. Didn't see one-armed swordsman or boxer or whatever. Chopping off an arm and making a martial arts style based off of that. Visually, that was not clear to me. He was just a guy who was handicapped the whole movie. And it was hard to see how that was effective at all, if it was supposed to be.
See, I don't know. I'm assuming. I mean, I think in the One-Armed Swordsman series, like he starts off being like armless, but like the backstory is that it was cut off, I think. I don't know what the backstory is with the one-armed boxer. Anyone who's listening, please let us know if there's so much that we're missing in the lore of the one-armed boxer. But I'm assuming that was cut off and he had to learn how to work around it, etc. But yeah, like in terms of the choreography, there's only so much you can do, and like you would think that because you only have one arm, this guy would do a lot more kicking. Right? And that's not the case. But I mean, that could be a testament to, like what kind of martial arts style you're doing, because like not every kung fu style is very prevalent with the kicks, right? So like northern style, I think is more like kick oriented, and then southern style is a lot more like hand oriented. I mean, that's basically like, I'm very much simplifying things, but like watching this movie, like, he only has one arm, so I imagine he's gonna do a lot more kicking. He doesn't really do a lot of kicking. He just uses that one arm, and I'm like, oh man, like, you would think that someone just like keep on kicking him on the side
on the
where
other
he can't
side.
defend.
Yeah,
but no one kicks in this movie.
Right. I was wondering if maybe the one arm was supposed to, subconsciously give him like sympathy, like you feel. You feel a natural inclination to like him because he has the natural, not natural, but he has the handicap in this movie, so he feels like an underdog. That's kind of what I was getting, right, a little bit. And then once the master of the Flying Guillotine comes along and we show just how unstoppable he is, I was thinking, well, how is a guy with one arm gonna beat this dude?
See, like, of course, the main character has a handicap of sorts, but we set him up early that like he is a competent fighter, so I was kind of rolling with them. Like, yes, please use your martial arts ability, use your fight knowledge to your advantage in every fight. But no, a lot, especially towards the later portions of the movie, he is like winning these fights using like
One
very
arm.
dirty tactics. Well, with one arm, yeah, one arm, but also with dirty tactics. And I'm like, oh, you kind of won because of dirty tactics, not because you're a good fighter. Or maybe a little bit both, but yeah, like I kind of didn't like that about the film.
There is only one fight where I thought, okay, that was not necessary in the way he won. So,
Yes.
but everything else, because they showed that the Master of Flying Guillotine is unstoppable, then yes, you need to do whatever you can to defeat him, and if you have to set up booby traps, then so be it.
Yeah. Again, that's the end of the movie does kind of devolve into that, but yeah. So there's Jimmy Wang Yu, although he is the star. Like, I don't think that the best portions of the fight, like what the movie can demonstrate from a fight standpoint, come from him. Unfortunately, sorry, rest in peace, but sorry. I think like some of it does kind of come from like the tournament segment, and like if we're talking about like the actual like fight ability, maybe, but that doesn't mean that I like the tournament segment. The tournament segment eats up so much time, and if we're talking about just like from a physicality standpoint, like you can see a huge physical demonstration from and athleticism from a lot of these performers, but I wish that tournament segment wasn't in the movie at all.
Yep.
It's just completely unnecessary.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, we've gone on about that. So, should we attempt to break down the action of this and go more into the story?
Yeah. What little story there is, but yeah, we'll definitely talk more about that in the Patreon section, which is right around here. And then the
Is that it?
over.
Is that Master of the Flying Guillotine?
Yeah. Holy shit! I think in the amount of time that we talked about all the fights, the tournament's still not over. That's how fucking long that tournament is. All right, yeah, that's the movie. Man, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of this movie.
It's fine.
I don't know. Am I just being ultra negative? Because I kind of wanted to go into this movie liking it, but I generally did not enjoy the film, and I'm actually a little stumped on what makes it so like memorable for a lot of folks.
I would say maybe it's the spectacle of the weapon, because the flying guillotine is ridiculous. There's no doubt about it. Logically, it doesn't make any sense. But when you verbally describe it to somebody, hey, imagine throwing a basket over someone's head, pulling the chain, and then the head comes off. That's pretty stupid, but it's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, but outside of that, did the movie stand up at all?
I mean, I enjoyed watching it. I'll say I enjoyed the movie. I didn't like the whole middle portion because the tournament just goes on forever. We've complained about the tournament so much. So there's that. But the movie is also very silly, and because of that, I got entertainment out of it. So I didn't mind it. I just wish it was shorter. Like give me 70 minutes. If you're not going to add anything, take away. I know some martial arts fans like their fights. I do too, but I want characters to root for, so the fights feel better. And there's too many characters in this movie. There's too many fights, and a lot of them don't matter. So I would prefer. I would just make my own cut. Let's cut out a lot of that tournament.
I mean, all of the tournament, honestly, and you could, this movie could honestly be a lot shorter. I'd say like you cut out half of the film, very easily, very very easily. Like I don't like that because the tournament's 20 or 30 minutes, and then there's like a whole bunch of scenes where like setting up the villains themselves. Like the villains don't even matter. Like they're just fodder. They're just hired guns. Like why do we need all these scenes of them like fighting? Or like setting them up at all, like especially since like the early segments with the tournaments set up. I don't know. I'm already being a dead horse. Like I'd say that as a general viewing experience, maybe even though I didn't love the movie, I'd still recommend it just to see it for yourself. But But yeah, this was a tough watch for me. Like I actually had to watch this in parts because I was like I had trouble watching it because I just could not. I was not entertained thoroughly enough. I was actually more frustrated at times because I thought like the fighting wasn't, you know, like it, because it's Lo Leong like at the helm for the choreography. I thought like, yeah, it's kind of there, but the storytelling is a mess, and I really didn't like it for that fact. So like, yeah, from a storytelling standpoint, and I am very much a story guy. The fact that like I wasn't enthralled with the story, that definitely made it a harder watch for me. But if you just want the spectacle, you want to see a guy get kicked in the balls 14 times before getting his eyes ripped out, and a dude dying because of a nipple stabbing, then yeah, I'd say go check this movie out. That's the weirdest fucking recommendation I've ever given. Zero. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I already said it. Like I like the movie. I recognize, yeah, tournament sucks, but you know, if you haven't seen it yet, yeah, I think you'll get entertainment. It's silly enough. I would recommend the movie as a watch, but for me, all the fights are kind of forgettable. Maybe a few of them with the Muay Thai fighter. Some, like, I think when he first goes to school, when he fights Jimmy Wang Yu's student or disciple, like there's hints of speed there. Because overall, generally with the fights, I like the cinematography and editing. I just felt like it's lacking maybe the speed and the finesse of better choreography.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is the late 70s or
mid
70s. So
being
it's not
being
fully
forgiving,
there yet.
but yeah, not bad. I enjoyed watching it, but I recognize that middle portion I did not like.
Okay. Well, somewhere in between our answers is the real answer. Yeah, sure. That ends RZA month, I guess.
Yeah, and oh god, I hope we counted our months right, because then what the hell are we gonna watch next?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I can't wait for everyone. I can't wait for our next theme because I'm actually kind of looking forward to it.
I am looking forward to it as well.
It is the complete opposite of what we've discussed this month. So, oh god, you guys, you're in for a treat.
So stay tuned, kiddies.